Welcome to a new and special edition of What You Don't Know. I'm your host, Rick Teeters. This is our EdTech and 3D show, where we will talk about the EdTech department and how they work with our teachers to enhance the classroom experience. On today's show, we're going to talk to EdTech manager Sean O'Donnell, and then later we'll be joined by ECOT teacher Ashley Dale and ECOT student Becca English, who has taken the ECOT 3D printing class. So let's get started. Sean, tell us first what the EdTech department does here at ECOT.
Sure. The EdTech department is actually made up of several smaller departments. I work over the support department, which oversees staff and teacher support. So just like the students call in to the help desk to get computer help, teachers sometimes will need that help as well. So they'll call our team there. We also have a team called the content design team. They work with content developers and they help create the content you see in the classrooms, some of your quizzes, tests, and things like that. And then there's also the project management team. Now, I don't work with that team directly, but it's all under the EdTech umbrella, and they work as liaisons between the people here in the office and our programmers at making the cool software that students use.
So not just cool software, but I know that as I've been down before, you have some cool toys, it looks like. So,
Yeah.
So what are some of the pieces of technology that your department's trying to help teachers integrate into the classroom for students?
Yeah, so on top of all of our other normal job responsibilities that kind of keep the lights running for the support stuff, we do have a wide array of different technology tools. We tried to really, last summer, dive into making a fully functioning makerspace here at ECOT. And what that means is we have tools like 3D printers, laser cutters, CNC. We have all kinds of different options for students to get their hands on and learn how to make different things and come out with really cool products that they've designed themselves.
And what's your favorite?
Oh, easily the laser cutter. That's the one I'm in love with right now. First off, lasers are cool. Second off, I get to make a lot of really cool, intricate work on metal, wood, anything. So,
how do you think that these new technologies in the EdTech department, how do you think that's enhancing the education of our students?
I see it happen on an individual basis. Usually I'll work with a student through tech club or they get referred by a teacher. And there is something that is just so fundamental to learning by starting with a process from the ground up, because there's nothing that I've ever designed or built at ECOT that worked the first time I tried it. Everything is trying and failing and learning from that and trying again. And that is huge to watch a student go through that process from beginning to end.
So it's a lot of design, redesign, trial and error.
Absolutely.
Great.
What I would say is pretty much the cornerstone of learning.
So, Sean, you mentioned Tech Club. What is Tech Club?
Sure. Technology Club is a club that another person here and I started last year, Jared Lindenau. We wanted to focus on video game design, graphic design, and computer programming skill sets for students. This year, we actually split it into two different clubs. There's a middle school tech club, which Jared and Tristan continue to run, and there's a high school tech club, which I run with Aaron Smith. And we talk about designing video games and working on programming projects and graphic design projects, really anything the students want to learn to do. It's always been a deep desire of mine to see a lot of the skill sets we have here at ECOT, some of our programmers and some of the people that work with hardware and graphic design. Those backgrounds are very useful to students who want to break into that field. So we want to create a bridge between the students who are interested in learning more about that and the staff that works here being able to give back to our students.
How does the student sign up for Tech Club? Is it open to anyone, or do you have to have any special grades, or how does that work?
Everybody's welcome to come to Tech Club. In fact, we have some students who were performing very low in their studies, but through regular interaction through Tech Club, we actually saw their attendance go up. All you have to do is be either in middle school or high school right now. It's the only requirement for Tech Club. And then show up. We usually meet once a week. We meet once a week every week, but because of our schedules and our time constraints, those days tend to shift and change.
Now, when you say you meet once a week, do you meet physically once a week, or do you meet online once a week? Do you use Collaborate? I mean,
we have a weekly live session we meet in. It's usually 2 to 3 on a Friday, but again, depending on where I get pulled throughout the week or if I'm working on a project or something, that day can sometimes change.
Great. Well, this is certainly exciting, and you guys are doing an outstanding job of helping our teachers and our students. I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
I wish I had more time. I would come down and play with the toys too. But
You and me
it's
both.
really cool.
Yeah, I wish that was the whole thing I did, but unfortunately, we got to keep.
You mean there are other jobs that we have to do other than build this
unfortunate-
cool stuff?
Yeah, unfortunately, I go just to stay all the shop all day. But yeah, there's the idea is that we want them to design more. That can be done at home in a safe location, and we want them to feel like they can come in and be part of the design feature, but the actual physical cutting and slicing, we would feel more comfortable doing that for them.
Isn't that really the way the world works anymore? That things are designed via computer or via some type of software,
Yep.
and then a lot of the physical cutting is actually done through a computer program. If I were out in the real world doing a lot of it, isn't that right?
Absolutely. A lot of the jobs that we're going to see that already are starting to exist and even more so are in that field. You are going to work remotely. You're going to work with a team. You're going to do 3D design and 3D modeling from afar, and you're going to submit those. They're going to be peer reviewed, and they're going to be executed by a machine. And there's going to be a person whose job it is to monitor that machine, make sure its maintenance and upkeep that's a different thing altogether, is what that person does is the actual running of the machine. But you as a designer, that's a whole different thing. So that's what we're trying to replicate for our students, is how it would work for them in the real world.
So I noticed on a trip that I took down by the EdTech room
Yeah.
that there are some 3D goggles in there where you can do some virtual reality.
Yeah, we've been working.
I would get seasick if I tried it, so I
You
haven't
gotta
tried
be
it
careful.
yet.
Yeah,
so-
absolutely. Yeah, you can easily get now. There's a trick to it. You got to move around when you do it, and which can be scary, especially if you can't see what you're doing.
Now, I saw a video on YouTube the other day
Yeah.
of a person flipping out of their chair
Oh yeah.
because
Yep.
something was coming
Coming
at
at 'em.
them.
Yep.
So
We
I can see a stunt like that being pulled on me.
Yeah, we try not to be pranksters with it, but every once in a while, somebody, because they'll get used to it. They'll be playing a game for a while. There's one that's classic where there's a table that exists, and it's in there the whole time they're playing, and everybody, no matter how long, like it usually takes about 3 or 4 minutes, but then they'll try to put their hand and lean on the table, and then they always just go down because they try to touch something that's virtual. But what we're trying to do with this is there are so many interesting things that you don't fully understand or comprehend until you experience them, until you at least in some way are able to wrap your mind around the whole picture. And you can watch YouTube videos and you can see flat images, but it doesn't really do it justice. And so there's a whole wide array of educational solar systems where we can fly students around different planets and show them how it all fits together. Or we can take virtual tours to Venice and go show them what it actually looks like to live there. We can also show them a completely torn apart top-down view of a skeleton and the circulatory system and the nervous system. We also have games that show them how the brain chemistry works. We were demoing those at the Science Expo just a day or two ago. And students were, up until that point, not able to really visualize some of the different things that were happening there. So it's a very exciting time to be able to get in on the ground floor of this, because I think it's going to be that next big jump in education that we are waiting for.
Oh, that's great. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have with us now Ms. Ashley Dale, an art teacher here at ECOT, and one of her students, ECOT senior Becca English. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So I know the answer to this question, but we're going to ask it anyway. So how long have you been with ECOT?
I've been at ECOT for 5 years, and I teach art appreciation and 3D design.
Well, that's art appreciation and 3D design. Great. And Becca, how long have you been with ECOT?
Since kindergarten.
Kindergarten, and you are a senior now.
Yes.
So 13 years with ECOT?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, that's great.
13, 14.
13, 14.
Great. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
So let's go back to Ashley. Ashley, how did you first, I understand because as I said prior to coming on the air, I can remember when you were hired.
Yes, I remember that day too.
So, art appreciation to moving over to 3D printing class, how kind of the transition, what's led you to the EdTech part of this?
I've always been an early adapter of technology, and it's something that I've just loved. That's why I came to ECOT. I'm good with technology, and 3D printing seemed like an excellent next step, and I was willing to take on the challenge to teach myself 3D printing and take extra
because
classes.
I seriously doubt that there's a lot of material or teacher prep out there for teaching you how to teach 3D printing. So probably a lot of work on your own to learn how to do this and then teach it to your students. Is that?
Absolutely. There was so much work involved. There is no other online art 3D design course that I can find in the world.
Oh, wow.
So I looked.
So really being a pioneer here at ECOT.
Yes, very much
great.
pioneering course, and the students are doing great with it, and I couldn't be more proud of them.
So, Becca, tell us a little bit about what it's like to take technology classes here at ECOT from a student perspective.
It's definitely different, and it's quite fun. And the teachers are very good at it. They really make you feel like you're involved and that you're learning.
Now, you don't have to say that just because you're sitting by your teacher.
I'm not believing.
Okay, good.
Yeah. But it's really different, and they are really great teachers, and it was quite fun and interesting not having the teacher there. I'm used to that, but it was different.
So you've enjoyed kind of the more design, hands-on aspect of some of the classes, as opposed to just, the typical class via online instruction.
Yeah, I love it more. It's very good. And the art classes are really good. And they somehow make it feel like your teacher's there without being there. And it's cool because it's more like you feel like you're hands-on instead of like through a computer, because they're just good at it.
Thank you. Ashley, so how do you feel like that adding classes like the 3D printing class, how's that beneficial to our students in the long run, kind of post-ECOT?
3D design is the future. Like 3D printing, they're up and coming as I teach in my class. Like this is new to the world as of 2009. It's been around for 30 years, but people weren't able to use it until 2009 when a couple patents expired. So this is up and coming technology. When a student goes out in the world and says, I know how to design something for 3D printing, an employer is going to go, what? And if they want a tech job, they're going to get it.
And I think, probably with the patents expiring, but I think the cost.
Yeah, the cost keeps going down.
Yeah, it keeps going down. So it's now I could afford, if I could convince my wife, I could afford to have something like that at home, and be able to use it and experiment and play and build things and crafts and do things. So, that's probably helpful, but obviously it's what is driving industry today.
Yes.
So having our students have hands-on experience with it makes them more marketable in the job field later.
Oh, yes. And absolutely. And the cost is going down. I think my friend built one for $160.
Built one?
Yes. If you
that's way above me.
You can buy it pre-built for about $200.
Really?
Yes. So they have come way down in price.
Oh, I know what I need to ask my wife for my birthday now.
Yes. So if
I had no idea it was that cheap.
Yeah. And those are bare bones models. The nicer ones, of course, are going to be more expensive, but still within a price range of anybody. If you're looking for a nice computer, it's about the same price range.
Wow. That's great. Becca, you're also a CTE student?
I am.
So what are you taking in CTE, and kind of what made you decide to get in that program?
I am in programming, software, and development, and I was reading all the descriptions after I found out about CTE, and it was during my last year, and I was reading all the descriptions, and it just sounded like I would love it. It's building websites and it's making games, and it just felt right. So I got to take it. I applied, and it was a few weeks before graduation, I found out that I got in, and so I took it, and I got to stay.
Well, great.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So what's been your favorite class that you've taken here at ECOT?
I love them all.
But
good
is there
answer.
one in particular that, like, if you had a chance, you'd just go do it again because it was just so much fun?
Any art or technology class that I've ever taken, those have been all my favorites.
What about a favorite project?
Favorite project? In 3D design, I have a favorite one.
Okay.
That is the first one that we did. We got to play. We took a 3D model of any natural object, and we got to put it on the computer and then change it and make it look like something else. And it was really cool, and I loved to play. That's what we learned. That's my favorite.
Great. Learning by play. What a great
Yes.
concept.
Yep.
That's how I learn best. Learning by play. Hands-on and tech-based. Becca, as a student who's been with us from kindergarten through your senior year, obviously you liked it enough to stay. Is there, what would you tell a prospective student that might be thinking about whether to stay in the school they're in or enroll at ECOT, what would you tell them?
That it's better flexibility, and you do get to know your teachers more. In the classes, there's so more opportunities through ECOT than normal schools.
Great. Thank you. And thank you for being with us
Thank you.
all these years now. And you'll be going to graduation here in June?
I am.
So I'll see you at graduation at the
Definitely.
Shot on June the 3rd and watch you walk across that stage and get your diploma.
Yes.
Yeah, that's exciting time. Any plans after high school?
I'm going to be going to college.
Yes?
I want to take graphic design, and I'm thinking about American Sign Language.
Oh, great.
Thank you.
Any idea where you may want to go to college?
Stark State University
Okay.
or Shippensburg University in Pennsylvania. Yes.
Great. I think we have a student in a little bit on my Rave that's actually attending a school in Pennsylvania, so that's quite exciting. So, Becca, is there anything else you'd like to add?
I would like to thank all of my teachers at ECOT and all of the staff members that have helped me find where I am now and on the pathway that I'm going to. Thank you, Miss Johnson, Miss Dale, Miss Ritchie. Oh boy. Miss Brown, and all of the art teachers and the tech teachers that I've had. Thank you so much.
And thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Ashley, Becca, thank you for being here today on What You Don't Know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Before we go, I have a new Rick's Rave for our listeners. And this week's rave is to Zahinia Kelly. Zahinia is a senior at ECOT who just received a competition cheerleader scholarship at Gannon University, which I think is in Erie, Pennsylvania, for competitive cheer. Gannon is a Division II NCAA school. She signed with Gannon earlier this week. We are very proud of you, Zahinia, and wish you all the best this fall at Gannon University. Well, I want to thank Sean, Ashley, and Becca for being here today on our special EdTech and 3D show. Make sure to check out this episode and past episodes by searching for us on Facebook and on iTunes. Just search for ECOT or What You Don't Know. Hope everyone enjoyed this show. I certainly learned a lot on this show and can't wait to go down and play with the toys in the secret room. We'll be back soon with another episode of What You Don't Know. Thanks, everyone.